What's up guys, so it's time for my second video on the 13 keys to the White House. Lately there has been a lot of riots in America and that is going to be taken into account now. There are several theories and people that predicted that Trump would win in 2016 against all pundits, against conventional wisdom. One of them was Helmut Norpoth, who predicted that he would win based off his primary performance versus Hillary Clinton, who struggled against Sanders. And the other one was Allan Lichtman, or one of the other one was Allan Lichtman, who of course used his 13 keys, and those are we going to look at now, because something has changed since I made my last video. So, the incumbent party mandate is quite the same. Here is a picture of Paul Ryan. Of course, he's no longer the Speaker of the House, not only because he retired, but because the Republicans lost the House. So since Trump's party now has fewer seats after the midterms than they had after the previous midterms in 2014, this one goes in favor of the Democrats. Contest, incumbency, and third party. Trump is the incumbent president. He easily won his party's renomination, and there is no significant third party. You will always have the Libertarian candidate, but there is no big traction. People are choosing between Biden and Trump and not looking any other way. So all of these three quite easily goes in favor of Trump. Now the short-term economy versus the long-term economy. The long-term economy, of course, is per capita growth equals or exceeds the two previous terms. Trump's growth has been very impressive, although the recession that we've seen now is very damaging for his re-election chances. But they're still favoring in terms of the long-term economy, because the economy has grown so much during his term. The short-term economy is basically one of the most difficult to decide, because it apparently can change before election day. It was very good before Christmas, during the winter, but right now it is actually in the air. It can go either way. If the economy rebounds before the election, the economy is no longer in the recession during the election campaign. So that would be in favor of Trump, and right now I'm just going to wait with that. It is in there. Number 5, we do not decide. Policy change. Of course, Trump has made a lot of changes in his policy that has affected national political climate and international political climate. There is very different from the Obama doctrine, so there is nothing to talk about there. Scandal, of course, this is the impeachment. It goes against Trump. This is something that Allan Lichtman has been very clear about, that the scandal key is turned against Trump. He is usually quite immune to scandals, but the impeachment he cannot escape. Even though it was a very partisan impeachment, this one is very bad for Trump's chances at re-election, according to this theory, I should say. Now, social unrest. This is the big change since the last video I made, because there is no longer harmony, peace and quiet across America. There are violent protests, riots, looting, police having killed, and police have also been criticized a lot for using too much violence. And what started with the unfortunate death of one guy has turned into a massive violent hysteria that has claimed the lives of many more, and of course untold economic damage. So this one clearly goes against Trump, and it is actually it's difficult to say if it might not, if it was all to suddenly stop. But it also makes you question, doesn't people want to vote against demonstrators, the protesters? According to the theory, probably not. So against Trump as well. Now, foreign military failure and foreign military success. There's not been any big foreign military failure, but there's not been any foreign military success big enough to categorize as turning the key in favor of Trump. So here's one for Trump and one against him. And he did not get a final agreement with North Korea. Yes, he did kill a few leaders of the Islamic world, both ISIS and Iran. But it is not enough according to this theory and according to Allan Lichtman. Of course, incumbent charisma and challenger charisma. Now, both candidates struggle on charisma. Biden has all these gaffes, Trump has this personality that half the country really hates, and to be quite honest, you could say that both of them have it in their favor. Biden maybe probably had before, like in 2012 or 2008 when he was vice president and debated Sarah Palin and Paul Ryan. Trump, he has these massive audiences, but he also has his own way of turning down voters. So, with only one key not accounted for, 5 keys goes against Trump. Now, short-term economy is still very difficult to say. It is in the air, it might change. There is also a small chance for that foreign military success changes, but that's very small. The scandal key will probably be there. But of course, if it turns out that the entire Ukraine thing was actually true, that Biden did pressure Ukraine to fire a prosecutor that was investigating his son's company, or the company he was working with, and if it turns out that it was Biden that had a lot to do with corruption in Ukraine and not Trump, I don't know, maybe it could turn against Biden and in favor of Trump, but that's very unsure. So it's definitely not looking good. Democrats have managed to stack up sort of a few keys against Trump. Scandal key would definitely not be there if it wasn't for the Democrats. The social unrest would not have been there by itself either. And incumbent party mandate, of course, the Democrats worked very hard to take back the House. So, yeah, the Democrats are within striking distance, but right now Trump is still a bit favored to win. So, is it going to be Trump for 4 more years, or is it going to be Biden? Both are the oldest candidate ever elected to president if they win. Trump will be older than Reagan was in 1984. Biden is of course much older than that again. So, it's exciting. We'll wait to see who Biden's vice president is. It's not going to have much effect on the election, but it's all going to be fun to watch. Anyway, that's it from me today, guys. Please like this video, please subscribe so you never miss another video, and so long.